Hi, I'm Richard Davenport at the Montserrat Contemporary Art Gallery, and this is my solo show. About 2 years ago, I came up with 8 series that you see 5 of them here today, and I have 3 more in the future that I plan on doing. But I wanted to explain some of the paintings that I've done here. The first series is called A Sunrise from Space, and the biggest focus here on this was really from the perspective. Most of our ideas of sunrises are from a horizontal perspective. You wake up in the morning, you walk outside your house every day, and you see a horizontal perspective of a sunrise. So what I liked about the sunrises from space are they come from a different perspective. Sometimes they're at an exaggerated angle or maybe a slight different angle, and they're just very unique. Only about 600 plus human beings on Earth have actually seen a sunrise from space, and those are your astronauts who have seen these over the last few decades. Another idea about sunrises from space these astronauts have observed is called the overview effect, and the overview effect is an emotional reaction to when they see Earth. It's such a far distance. Some of the things like politics and petty things like warfare, all of these things kind of disappear when they're able to see Earth from such a far distance. So it's a very unique feeling that a lot of astronauts are able to feel when they see these sunrises from space. The second series that I've painted is called 3.7 billion miles, and this was actually a photograph that was taken by Voyager 1 in February of 1990. And the image itself was 640,000 pixels, with Earth only being 0.12 pixel. So very small, almost like a dot in space is Earth. And so with these, I just wanted to mix it up a little bit. This was the first one that I did. You can see Earth here, very small little dot. But then I just started getting a little bit more creative, different colors. As you can see, as I continue to move along in the series. Around the 8th painting within the series, I then came up with the idea of maybe doing an all-white painting. So the last painting that I painted for the 3.7 billion miles, around the 7th, 8th, or 9th painting, I decided, why don't I try to do an all-white painting? The idea really came from, when Sir Isaac Newton took white light and ran it through a prism, and he came up with the 6 or 7 colors of the spectrum, the color spectrum. So I decided white because it's a very symbolic color. Kazimir Malevich, he painted his painting called White on White, and his idea of the color white was it had this eternal type of feeling. You also have white wedding dresses, which symbolize purity. And so, I just decided if we're going to look at Earth at 3.7 billion miles, and why not encapsulate Earth in all white? That was kind of the idea. But in the painting, if you get close to it, from a distance it looks all white. But when you get close to it, I have all the different colors, all 7 colors of the actual spectrum are woven throughout the painting. So when depending on how the light hits it, some of the colors are come out a little bit more. So it's a very interesting painting. The third series that I did was called Line of Europa, and this is Jupiter's moon, ice moon, Europa. And on the surface of Europa are all of these unique, mysterious lines that are crisscrossing and zigzagging all over the moon. And it's kind of a mystery as to how they're formed or why they are the color that they are. But the color is a reddish brownish kind of color. And so with this series, I decided to just be creative with some of the colors. And so I also added, as you can see, a vertical line. In line theory, a line represents life or vitality or strength. And so I added this line, as also in terms of representing just a man-made object. So with all of our efforts in space, in trying to figure out what is going on with Europa, the potential for life there, and there's a lot of excitement about it. So I decided to add this vertical line, which kind of represents the idea of life, but also the idea of man-made. If you were to walk through nature, walk through the forest, anytime you see a straight line, it's usually an indication that mankind has been there and it's established some kind of fortification there. Could be, even in the city, you can see lines throughout all the buildings going straight up, and they give this idea of strength and vitality and life, but also they're man-made. The fourth series that I did was called Zovian clouds. The Z really stands for Zeus, and the Jovian is just another word for Jupiter. So Zeus being the Greek god of thunder, of rain, of wind, and Jupiter is the Roman god. So they're both the same, but I just decided to name the series Zovian clouds. And when you put a Z next to a slash like I did, it actually looks like the Roman symbol for Jupiter. So Jupiter is by far the largest planet in the solar system. You can actually fit 317 Earths inside of it. It's just that massive. It also has the strongest gravitational pull in the solar system, and so there's just a lot of violence and turbulence on Jupiter that are forming all of these unique vortices and cloud formations. And so, my effort was really, with a lot of the series, was just to bring out all the beauty that exists out there in the solar system, and Jupiter is just one of them. But, Jupiter has winds that are, up to 400 miles an hour. It's actually a gassy planet, so there's a lot of gases, a lot of other particles and things of that nature that are really creating a lot of different kinds of colors on Jupiter. And I don't even know if we really understand all of the different colors on Jupiter, but or if we even have the images that really portray exactly what is going on Jupiter in terms of how vibrant the colors are, how they're changing, and things of that nature. And so the whole series was meant to be a little bit of creative in terms of all the different paintings that I did. How many different colors could I try to come up with to make it, as beautiful as I can. That was kind of the effort on Zovian clouds. So the fifth series that I was able to complete before the show is called Reflections of Titan. Titan is one of Saturn's moons. What is really unique about Titan is that it's the only other celestial body in the solar system other than Earth that actually has standing bodies of liquid. And so on Titan, the hydrological cycle on Titan, it rains methane and it rains ethane. And so it's actually forming lakes and seas and rivers. And they also have mountains that are up to 10,000 feet. So we don't have very many images of Titan. In 2005, we sent a probe called the Huygens probe, which landed on the surface, but it only landed in an open plain. There's no images of the mountain ranges, or any images of the actual lakes and seas on Titan. So it was actually a really challenging series. Landscapes are hard enough as it is, and trying to paint something that you really can't see made it that much challenging. So a lot of my research, I just looked at a lot of lakes, across the world, as well as the Chinese lake Jingpo Lake, which means mirror lake. So there's not hardly any wind on Titan. So a lot of these lakes are considered mill ponds, very still. And so we actually have radar images, infrared images of Titan that are reflecting the sun's light. So even though that we don't have photographs, we do have images of the sun reflecting off of these very still lakes and seas on Titan. So the whole series was really meant to this idea of reflecting light off of the methane and ethane on Titan.